Alter Bridge playing tonight at the Orbit Room in the studio right now. My friends, Myles Kennedy and Mark Tremonti, the guitarist and vocalist. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Very nice to meet both of you guys. First of all, Mark, of course, if you are familiar, if you don't think you are, Creed. People have heard of Creed before. 2004, you guys had obviously enormous success with Creed. And then things went sour with you guys, or maybe just you and Scott. It might be something that you're hesitant to talk about, but people are very, very curious. We know that you guys had a falling out, but people are kind of fuzzy on the details. So give us as much detail about that process of breaking up Creed as you can.
I think by the third record, things started to go a little haywire, and there was a lot of pressures and a lot of, Scott had admittedly had substance problems with alcohol, and he just he became isolated and started thinking that everybody was, it was just two teams, it seemed like, out there. There was Scott and there was the rest of us. And
did you get the sense that he was starting to view you as his backup band, maybe? Was
no,
it that
he
kind of
always
dynamic?
respected me as I've always been, we and him would always write the music together, and he always respected that. He knew that without one of us, the band couldn't continue. So he never treated me with disrespect in that way, but he was very, at the time, just kind of abrasive, to people around him. And the good thing about him now is he's lost that. Now he's very much calmed down, and I think he realizes what, the success we had was special, and that he doesn't want to risk losing that again. So.
Yeah, would you say he was starting to think maybe he could be a star in his own right without you guys, and he's learned his lesson after this hiatus?
No, I think he's just I don't know. I think it just got out of hand. I think there was so much success so fast.
Started to believe the hype about himself. Maybe got a little full of himself. I know your friend. I'm sorry, man. Your friends. I know that, but
he's just he was a strong alpha personality from the get-go,
which makes a good front man in a band.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah,
and you see that in a lot of bands where you have the front man as a very aggressive kind of personality, and it led to him being a great front man, and also led to him burning a lot of bridges along the way. So,
but not this bridge. And you guys are getting along well now, right?
Yeah. We're it's not like it was back in the day where we all would share an apartment and get together and jam all the time. It's more of a business relationship now, where we see each other on tour, and we see each other most of the time just during shows and during interviews and performances and stuff. So it's a different, more of an adult relationship we have now. We both have kids and families, so we don't spend as much time together.
And you said you don't have definite plans for Creed in the future, but you're definitely planning on doing something eventually with Creed again.
Yeah, it'll probably be, we're going to run this album, the AB3 record, and tour it as much as we can, and then maybe the following summer, 2012, maybe do a Creed summer tour, and it'll probably be good to release some new music, maybe an EP or something around that tour. But like I said, we've been so busy with AB3, we haven't had time to really plan anything.
Yeah, AB3 would be the third Alter Bridge album, which brings me to Myles over here. How did you, in 2004, what brought you to hooking up with Myles, and how did you come to the decision as a band to hire Myles as your singer for Alter Bridge?
Well, Myles was in the Mayfield 4 back when Creed was touring, like theaters, I think, theater-level style shows, and back then he just had a great voice, and we remembered that. And when the band was breaking up for a good 6 months, we saw it coming, and he was at the top of our list. And I also had some singers come by the house and sing over demos and whatnot for the first record. And there were some good singers, some aggressive singers, some folky singers, but not singers that had the whole package like Myles did. And as soon as he sang over the demos, sent them back, we asked him if he wanted to fly across the country and come rehearse with us. And from that day, he never went back, and we finished the record.
And turns out you made an excellent choice. Myles, it's turned out Myles is one of the best vocalists in rock today. You're touring. Well, when Slash goes on tour with his band, you tour as his vocalist.
Yeah.
And talk about the Led Zeppelin thing, because there was rumors going around a few years ago that you were possibly going to replace Robert Plant as Led Zeppelin's tour singer, but I guess that wasn't exactly true, but it wasn't exactly false either.
Yeah, that was never. It was never going to be Led Zeppelin. You know, Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones and Jason Bonham had been together jamming, and were considering putting a project together of some sort. And I don't think they were really sure what it was going to be, but it definitely wasn't going to be quote unquote Led Zeppelin. So yeah, I was really, really shocked when they asked me to.
I imagine,
to come down for a little while,
and then even more shocked probably when they didn't tell you to leave within an hour and find somebody else, right?
Yeah,
exactly. And it kept going.
I was like, why am I still here?
You wrote songs with those guys?
No, we didn't write songs. It was, there was a few occasions where there were some jams, and basically just added my 2 cents in during the jam. But it had never. It was so informal. It had never got to the point where people were sitting down and quote unquote, writing a record or anything like that. So,
do you keep in touch with Jimmy and John Paul?
I actually saw. We were at the Classic Rock Awards, and we saw John Paul Jones about a month ago, which was cool. Just reconnected briefly, and he's just a wonderful, wonderful human being.
You think there's a chance you might work with them again musically?
Oh, I don't think so. I'm pretty busy, and I don't mean no. That sounded horrible. Oh, jeez, that's going to come back to bite. That's going to bite me in the ass.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just don't even think about it. I think that's what I was trying to say with that is just like, I think that everybody's kind of moved on. Is probably the best.
Sure, and
I'm too busy. Oh, that was real bright of me to say.
Not just you, but you think those guys have moved on too. I understand you weren't dissing
that's
the
what I
guys
was
in Led
trying to
Zeppelin. That would
say.
be ridiculous. Alter Bridge, fantastic work, you guys, on all three of your albums. This new album, AB3, though, it's different. I can hear it just as a casual listener right away, different than your other two albums. You guys, I want first, Myles, tell me how it differs from your earlier work with Alter Bridge.
It's a little darker. It's a little darker and more aggressive. I think that there's always been kind of an anthemic quality to a lot of the material.
Absolutely.
But and it's still there in certain spots, but overall I think it's a little more introspective and melancholy record in a lot of ways.
That darker feeling, what is that? Is that reflecting something in your personal lives? Where is that coming from? Making darker music this time?
I think it's just a combination of where we were at, our headspace was at. We were going through some changes with record labels and business-wise. Things were kind of on the skids, and we were, I grew up listening to dark music, and I love pushing dark music.
For instance,
Celtic Frost or Slayer, just.
Mark Tremonti is a Slayer fan. That's interesting. That's
fan,
very cool to hear.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Detroit, and the heavier the music, the cooler you were in school where I went, and then I moved down to Florida and nobody had heard of Slayer. So
I think some people here in Michigan don't know that. You're from Detroit originally, and Alter Bridge is actually the name of a bridge on Alter Road in your old neighborhood growing up, right?
Yeah.
And what's the significance of that bridge that made you name a band after it?
Me and my brother Dan got on the phone, and we had looked up every band name in the world. We had band meetings where we'd list 30 names, and every one of them would be taken. So me and Dan got on the phone. He had the idea of coming up with landmarks for where we grew up, and we had said Alter Bridge, Outer Drive. 8 Mile was already taken by Eminem, and Alter Bridge came up clear, and I thought it was kind of cool. It was a bridge that none of the parents would let the kids cross because it became Detroit proper, and right over the bridge it was a night and day difference from a nice little suburb to a drug dealing, crime infested prostitute.
How's that nice little suburb looking today? Have you been back recently?
Not as nice.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
Nice. But I love Detroit just the same. It's a great. I love going back.
Michigan boy, made good, definitely. Among really, the list gets longer every year. Alter Bridge, you guys are doing fantastic work. In fact, I'm going to play your single "Isolation" off of AB3 right now. You're playing tonight at the Orbit Room. Can we put a listener on your guest list? Maybe.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well, how about caller 20? You're going to go see Alter Bridge on their guest list tonight at the Orbit Room. AB3 is the new CD. Thank you very much, guys, for stopping by. This is awesome.
Thank you.
Alter Bridge playing tonight at the Orbit Room in the studio.